Hello, everyone. Today I'm joined by Stan Zeff and Jackie Zepherin, the founder of Tambor Party and the managing partner of Tambor Party. How are you both doing today?
Doing great.
Excellent. How are
Awesome.
you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
So please tell us, share, what is Tambor Party?
Well, Tambor Party is, as it says, it's a party. Started in 2009, and I came up with the idea of Tambor Party because um, I wanted something that was inclusive for everyone, something that meant more than just going to a party and just dancing. I wanted the spiritual element to be in the experience as well. So coming from a musical family where I grew up in a household where there was always music being played. I had two older brothers that were DJs, and one of them had a sound system, and which I helped him build as well. And he was always putting on events and creating experiences, and he wanted to put on an event and have something different in the event. So I was always learning from how he did things and how his friends did things. So it was kind of in my blood to put on events. And when I was old enough, I created my own sound system and was putting on parties as well. And when I moved to the States in 2000, I wanted to create something that, again, was different, something that would bring people of different walks of life and they could feel comfortable. Women could come and just dance by themselves and just have a great time. So tambor actually means drum ceremony. And when I was coming back from a ceremony in Cuba for the Orishas, I was reading a book, and the book said Tambor Celebration. So I thought that's gonna be the name of my event, and I'm just gonna grow it. My gut was talking to me; it said it was gonna grow it. So that's how Tambor started. And since 2009 it's just evolved more and more. At first, it was a party that people came and danced to, but now we're seeing it as an experience more than just a party. So people come and they can just be free, like going to church, and just leaving your worries at the door and just come and just dancing all your worries away. And we've seen that we are now taking the brand into different areas like ceremonies, plant medicine ceremonies. We're taking it into retreats for example, one called Sacred Sons, which is a retreat for men to find themselves and be able to express themselves. And there's a musical element in that as well. So Tambor's been invited to that space, as well as Burning Man. Last year was first time in Burning Man, and playing music to people of all different walks of life, 80,000 people. We're keeping up with the what we know of as Tambor Party in the club scene, but with a more spiritual element of more live musicians, and of course the music, which is heavily drum influenced.
Interesting. And speaking
Yeah.
of the music, how would you describe the music that is being played at your events?
Well, it's very African based, okay, or should I say Afro based? It's really Afro House, and but more so with on an organic feel to the music as well. So Afro House started in about 2005, 2006, and that comes out of South Africa. And the music lovers in South Africa, they started playing this house music from the States, from Chicago and New York, and all what we know of house as. And then they started to produce it themselves and make that put their own influences into the music. So they're using their own percussive instruments. They're using their toms, their drums, their djembes, their shakers, their blocks. They're putting all that into the house 4/4 sound, but they're playing it on the offbeat. So there's more of a hop, skip, and jump to the music, which makes it a bit more, as I say, soca-ish, calypso-ish, and it moves other parts of our bodies as well.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, I guess, the current state of the music industry, like what are both of your thoughts on what do you think are the most effective ways for Black creatives and artists to empower themselves, like own their art and actually profit from it? Because we hear a lot about Black creatives starting trends and on different platforms and then not benefiting in any way, people kind of like taking it and running with it and making money from it. Like, what are your thoughts on ownership in the music industry?
That's a very good question. I would say that we as artists have to be very committed to growing ourselves as our own brand and being consistent with that, and looking for what Stan says, creating our own lane, committing to that and building your brand. And that takes a lot of consistency and dedication. But that's the way you own your art, right? You have to be very diligent about, things like your marketing and having a website. And if you're putting on events, being consistent with your events and how you engage with your audience and not being wayward with that, right? It takes a lot of time and attention and commitment. And, one of the things that I think has helped Stan be so successful with the Tambor Party platform is, he grew it like from grassroots. And that meant, if he was going out DJing, he was collecting email addresses from, people who were there before he ever launched Tambor Party, right? Like growing your network and getting a website and putting out a newsletter. If you're going to do it once a week, he did it once a week, since 2009, right? And so when he got ready to launch his Tambor Party brand, he had already established some credibility, as a person, as a DJ. And then with the brand, he just consistently grew it. If you're going to have a monthly party, have a monthly party, and do it consistently and just commit to it, right? Because I think a lot of times we look for other people to create opportunities for us, right? We want to be picked up by the next big label or platform or whatever, right? And if we could take that energy of seeking opportunities outside of ourselves and really just creating those opportunities for ourselves. Tambor Party didn't come from a place of, someone coming in saying, hey, I want you to create this party. It was a seed that grew within Stan and he stuck to it, and that's what it takes. I think within any industry, not just, the music industry, just as a creative, you have to really be committed to your brand.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
In terms of bringing people together, like how do you believe music has the power to, bring us together and create shared experiences as seen in the events that you create?
Well, the word there that hits me in your question is believe. I firmly believe and 100% believe that music changes consciousness in a positive way. And within Tambor Party, we try and, well, we don't try, we change people's consciousness through music. And in the early days, Tambor did that organically. Okay, it was just you come to the party, and the music that I played in the party was so organic that it touched people in a way that other music doesn't touch people, because what we play is high vibrational music. To give you an example, Someone contacted me the other day and said that they brought someone to the last Tambor Party who was in two minds about coming because they heard it was Afro House, and they hadn't, heard of Afro House before, or what it was like, or anything like that. But when they came, they couldn't stop dancing. Mm-hmm. Okay. And on top of that, they had a smile on their face for the whole night. And what's really important about that I find that's really important, is the fact that they went home with a smile on their face, which means that the experience of the event and the music affected them in such a way that they took that vibration home with them, and hopefully done something good in their life. He did something good for his partner, his family, at work. He was inspired to do something more creative, and that's really what the beauty of music is. I see it as a gift from God to us, for us to improve ourselves, for us to release the stresses and everything in life that are in ourselves. And so, as I said before, we're seeing more people approaching us to do more types of events or different events in different spaces and not just nightclubs, because of the power of music and how it can improve people's lives.
Sure.
Yeah.
In terms of being business partners in business, and partners in life also, like what roles do you both play in the company, and how do you empower each other in your different roles?
Me start?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll
let the boss start.
It's really been good, because I think with me stepping in and pretty much running the business operations of the company has allowed Stan to really flourish as an artist. Both of us come from a background in tech, as senior executives and, running teams and organizations. And so having that has, helped us, to really stay organized. We're pretty much a small team. We have a couple other people that support, but between the two of us, and him really flourishing as an artist and collaborating with other artists. And I focus primarily on, the production side of things. Like I said, the business, organizing our events and, doing the end-to-end production on that. It's worked out really well, and it's taken a lot of communication too, and just kind of figuring out, where we need to shift. But I think because we both are very passionate about elevating our community, that is the basis, not just for Tambor Party, but even as for our union. As a couple, we're very committed to that, and so Tambor Party becomes an extension of who we are, right? And so I think that's why our roles work well together in producing that.
And I think, just to add to that, from when the onset of Tambor, when it first started, like Jackie said, I was doing pretty much all of it myself. So I was the marketing guy, I was the promotion guy, I built the website, I DJ'd, I pretty much did everything. And it was a lot of energy, and some people came to help me, but it didn't work out. And the hardest thing in building a business is finding the right people. So I just prayed for someone to come along and really, take part of the running the business out of my hands, so I can concentrate on doing what I love to do, being creative and making music and growing the label and things like that. And then I met Jackie, and she was interested in how Tambor worked, and she wanted to know the history, and I just thought we were just talking about it and stuff like that, and she was getting more and more involved and understanding house music was, and the dances and all that kind of stuff. And one day I was talking to my accountant, and we were talking about the same things. It's like, you need help. And I was like, I know I need help, you know. And he was like, what about Jackie? Why don't you just, you know, bring her on board? She knows everything about it. And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And, you know, I talked to him about the business more than anyone else. So, you know, and at that time, Jackie was transitioning out of corporate because, you know, like most people, she had enough, you know, wanted to get out of that world. And we were supporting each other. I was supporting her in her transition on that as well. And it just seemed like a natural progression for her to move in to Tambor. And since she's come on, we've just grown leaps and bounds. You know, it's been a blessing, you know, that she's come on and brought her energy, her talent, her creativity into the brand, and it's allowed the brand to really flourish, you know. So yeah,
Jackie is a godsend.
that's right. Yeah. And we get a nice meal tonight.
Fantastic. And other than the events that you do on land, you also have, you know, you're also taking the party to another landscape. Can you tell us more about your upcoming event taking place in Egypt and some details and what, you know, attendees can expect to from that?
Yeah. So Stan started an annual cruise, right, for Tambor. So it was basically taking the Tambor Party, you know, club scene to a ship. And he started that in 2017 as an annual cruise event through Royal Caribbean. And of course, when COVID hit in 2020, that kind of shut things down. And he was very adamant if the cruise was coming back, it was going to have to be something extraordinary, right? I mean, Royal Caribbean was great, and it grew immensely in those 4 years. And you know, he was just very adamant, like, I want to do something different. It's got to be different. If we're going to do it, you know, it's got to be different. And so last year we were in London visiting family, and he had the idea for Egypt, which, you know, is pretty phenomenal. And so from there, we decided to do, you know, an 8-day festival in Egypt this October 22nd through the 29th. And it's basically a Tambor Party experience with the, you know, landscape of Egypt, going down the Nile River. It's 8 days, and 5 of those days will be on a private chartered ship that we leased exclusively for our guests. So this time, you know, we'll have an exclusive event, whereas, you know, in the past with Royal Caribbean, it was, you know, thousands and thousands of other people. But this will give us an opportunity to really, you know, be able to create more community and connection, because it's just for Tambor Party. And like I said, we're in Egypt, and that cultural enrichment. So we'll have not just the Tambor Party daily experiences, but also getting out to discover Egypt and excursions, and, you know, every day, and some amazing hotel resorts on the Nile River that we'll be staying at. And yeah, it's going to be
a trip of a lifetime.
A trip of a lifetime.
Yeah, and that's really where we're coming from. It's going to be a trip of a lifetime, because although we've done festivals on sea before, this one is the backdrop is something that is going to be remarkable, because your backdrop is going to be all the different monuments and artifacts of ancient Egypt. Plus, we're going to be on the Nile, the most spiritual waterway in the world, you know, one of the seven wonders of the world. You know, so along with that, with the Tambor music experience, and, you know, we have a whole host of exceptional DJs that will be there as well. So there's going to be parties every night, and in the day is going to be excursions, and and having time to just sit back and connect with your roots, because there's a lot of people that are coming that have never been to Africa before. They're really excited about the music and everything, as well as being back of where they come from, and connecting with their roots, and connecting with like-minded people, because there's people coming from all over the world. So yeah, a trip of a lifetime.
Nice. And in terms of the business, where do you see it 5-10 years from now? Do you have like a roster of 20,000 DJs, and you're just sitting back and just they're handling it all? Or are you going to be mixing at 90 years old?
Actually, yes, I'm going to be mixing at 90 years old. But no, I think I remember I was telling Jackie this morning. One of the first interviews I had when I first started Tambor, someone asked me, it's like, where do you see Tambor going? And I said, I see Tambor as a boat with a sail, and wind pushes it where it wants to go. And again, I'm a firm believer of the spirit, with the wind being the spirit. Okay, and where spirit wants Tambor to go. I would like to see Tambor moving in a direction of being recognized at large festivals around the world, and the promoters contacting us and wanting a Tambor stage at their festivals, and so that we can bring that organic, real musical experience for people over 2-3 days, as well as us continuing our festivals and our excursions around the world. We're already thinking about 2024 and where we're going to be for 2024. So we want to keep on doing large excursions at least once every year, to bring people out, to allow people to connect, to bring community to our people, and bring people out of the rat race, and allow their creativity to flow and be inspired, so they can go back and make changes in their life for the better.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, for all those who want to learn more about upcoming events and just the business in general, where can they go?
So our website is tamborparty.com. It's Tambor Party on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Tambor, TAMBOR Party, PARTY. Our cruise event that we're doing this year in Egypt is on our cruise affiliated website, which is tamborcruise.com. But you can also learn from it from our Tambor Party pages as well. But yeah, Tambor Party.
Tamborparty.com. All right. And you can find out about myself, Stan Zeff, Stan, STANZEFF, on Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for taking the time to chat. Definitely love learning more about your business and what you have going on, and just keep up the great work.
Yes, we will. Thanks for having us. We really do appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Take care. Have a great day.
Take care.
You too. Peace.
Bye.